Hi everyone, it's Rax bringing you a Diablo 4 update, which I think will mean a lot to a lot of you. So first of all, there was the Diablo 4 developer talk today about the post-season launch, and they're talking about the different seasons and what they mean. There's a huge blog post here. I mean, I'm only going to cover this for like 60 seconds, but essentially they said seasons are coming. They're going to bring new mechanics to the game. They want you to, all the basic stuff you would expect. They're going to bring new stuff to Diablo 4, things for you to enjoy, fresh concepts and ideas, yada, yada, yada. There's a season journey that you work through. One important thing about the season journey, unlike in Diablo 3, is you don't have to do the whole thing. So for example, if you look here on this screenshot, it says complete 7 of 9 of the objectives to go to the next chapter. This is important because Diablo 4 has things like PvP. If do something in the PvP zone is an objective and you hate PvP, if you have to do every objective, it forces you to do stuff you don't want to do. So as you work through the season journey, you don't have to do everything. And the top secret is so they can hide what's coming in season 1. And every single season obviously is going to have a certain theme to it. They kept joking that season 1 might be about zombies, but it's actually not about zombies. Then they talked a lot about the battle pass, and there is a huge misconception about the battle pass. Now, I'm not really one to just sit here and defend Blizzard, but there is no pay to win in the battle pass. There is a free path, and in the free path for playing the game, you unlock power. And you get like these little tokens that you can spend to get more power. This is free, it's for everybody. There is a $10 paid path, which gives you cosmetics, which they said it's about 2 full sets for every single class and additional things. For $10 compared to other games, that's probably worth it if you like cosmetics. There is no power in the paid path. None. Then, if you spend $25, you get the paid path. I think you get an exclusive emote, I think it is. And you get to skip 20 tiers of the paid path. Now, let's cover this one more time. The free path has all the power. The paid path has all the cosmetics. And if you get the tier skip, it only skips the tiers for the cosmetics, which means no, you cannot pay to skip 20 tiers ahead in the free tier to get the power. The only way to get the power is to play the game. So there is no pay to win. You're not going to get any stronger if you spend money, but you will get cosmetics. There are a lot of different questions on that. That's how it works. Here you can see a screenshot of some of from the free path, you will get these little tokens to pump stuff like extra XP or more gold or more rare materials, okay? That's an example. That's pretty much it. They talked a lot about the cosmetics. They wanted to call out that it's not just all the best cosmetics are in the shop. You have to actually play the game, and you can get really nice sets in the game as well. And the whole dev stream is here. But that's not really what I want to talk to you about today. Right after this blog ended, they released the build where you can like pre-download the beta that we're going to play in a few days. And I think the build that we used to play on the last beta was like 8 or 0.80 or something. And this build is like something like 0.90. And they said that this build is much closer to what we'll see on the launch. Well, they said that they're going to make some changes and they're going to balance things. And they're not going to let anything get out of hand. And a lot of things have been nerfed. Some things have been buffed, but a lot of it has been nerfed. And a lot of what has been nerfed is what is, what you think it would be. The builds that everybody is talking about. So I want to show you a few examples. I could literally sit here, show you a million examples, but let me show you a few of them. And then I'm going to show you what that means for the server launch, in particular to the builds that I made you. And I'm probably going to have to make another video tomorrow, right before it releases, to give you different builds. So let's start with Barbarian. And Barbarian is, if you did not know, the class I'm going to start with. I'm going to main every class, but this is the class I'm writing the guides for on Maxroll. So this is the one I pay attention to the most. And Barbarians got hit pretty hard where it hurts us the most. are shouts. Our shouts are how we're going to generate all of our cooldowns. They're the most powerful thing for us, and they're how we stay alive. All of them have essentially been nerfed, and I'm just going to show you a few examples. Let's start with like upheaval, though. Let's look at some skills. So if I compare, so this is Diablo4builds.gg. They don't have the new Datamined. This is the old Datamined, so how it used to work on the old beta. Now, Lothric here, I believe that's how you say his name, he has the updates, so we can just go back and forth and compare them. So let's look at upheaval, how it used to be and how it is now. So you'll notice upheaval does 98% damage how it used to be, and luckily when we upgrade it here on the new beta, it's the same. But if you go a little bit further, dealing direct damage with a skill that's not upheaval causes your next upheaval to do 3 times more damage, up to 10 times. So we're going to get 30% from this, right? When we fight a Shava. Well, not what it used to be was 80. Went from 80 to 30. So now all of a sudden, this rune kind of sucks, and this rune may be way better. By the way, just to call something out, this is just the skills. This doesn't even cover the items and all the changes that we made. Another thing that I need to call out that a lot of people don't understand is even from the Datamined, we haven't seen all the items yet, which is probably a good thing. We just spoil the whole game, right? We don't want the whole game spoiled. But if you look through every class and every skill, you'll notice there's changes to a lot of things, especially the things that you've liked to have seen. So then my first thought is, okay, well, this rune would be really good for a Shava because we have to use Flay a lot because we don't have any Fury. So what happens to the other rune? And luckily, I think the other rune is exactly the same. Okay. So then I say, okay, well, what exactly should we do here? Maybe we should go for Hoda. And Hoda was almost as good as upheaval already. And now it does 70% damage. But it used to do 78. So then you can go calculator. Okay, here we go. And then you can take 78 divided by 70 minus 1. Okay, we're doing 11% less damage, right? And you can go through and maybe Hammer of the Ancients is the better way to go right now. But just to say it's not all bad news, let's look at one more example. Let's look at Whirlwind. Whirlwind used to do 18% damage. And when people tried leveling with it, they said, this skill sucks. This is bullshit. Well, what happens now? Well, now it does 24. That's a huge increase. Used to do 18, now it does 24. Just showing you guys some examples here. We're not going to look at everything. I don't want to waste your time. If we come down here, though, now we start to get into the shouts. And here is where we start to have a big problem because this is literally everything for a Barbarian. So Rallying Cry was one of the greatest ones. When you level it, it starts at 50 and you level it up to 70. You get your Unstoppable and then you get 25 and 50. 25 Fury and 50% resource generation. Well, what happens with Rallying Cry now? Well, now it starts at 40, and as you pump it up, I don't have enough points to pump it up. Let me throw some points here. Here we go. As we pump it up, now it only goes to 56. So 70 dropped to 56, and now it lasts for 6 seconds. Okay, that's the same. But if we go through here, this really, really nice node, now, instead of giving us 25 Fury, it gives us 20. And instead of giving us 50% resource generation, it gives us 20, which is a huge nerf. So this was one of the best, and now it's nerfed. Okay, so now we go to Challenging Shout. We upgrade it, and we say Challenging Shout gives us 56% damage reduction. And it used to give us 60. And we say, oh, that's not that bad. 60 to 56 is not that bad. No. It used to last for 8 seconds, and now it lasts for 6. So we lost a fourth of the duration. All right. Again, I'm not going to sit here and go on and on and on, but you'll notice the shouts have been nerfed. Now, one thing that I'm not necessarily arguing one way or another, I'm not saying that Blizzard is wrong in doing this. Of course, balancing the game is good. It actually does promote their idea of play your own way, etc. But one thing I want to call attention to you guys toward is this game is changing all the time. I make a guide for you last week. I'm extremely confident in all of it for all 5 classes. And now I'm not confident at all, and I got to look at it again and see what's the best way I can advise you. In some cases, when I look at it now, I'm not even sure what's the best, which may be a function of good game design. If I can't tell you exactly what's the best and you can play however you want and it's about equal, if I don't have like full omniscient knowledge about the legendaries and stuff, maybe they've done a good job. There's one more thing I just want to point out, just because I've spent so much time on Barbarian. This is the easiest class for me to just show you an example. Let's look at what Tough as Nails used to do. Tough as Nails used to increase your thorns by 20, then 40, and 60%. 60% more thorns. And thorns was actually a very cool way to level up. It was one of the strongest ways. And part of it was from this Tough as Nails passive. So I go in here and I upgrade it now. And now we get 9. Yes, used to be 60 and now it's 9. That is a colossal nerf. And is Thorns viable anymore? I have no idea. So now that's a colossal nerf, right? Okay. Anyway, let me just quickly jump through every class and tell you just a couple little things here. So like Blizzard said, the companions have been buffed. It is true. Like the poison from the poison creeper does way more damage. The ravens do way more damage. The wolves got buffed. So they said they were going to buff companions, and they did. I give them credit. If Blizzard says they're going to do something, and then they don't do it, that's going to piss me off. If they do something different, at least they told us that's what's going to happen. So that's the good news for Druid. For Druids before, the clear options seem to be, with no legendary powers, seem to be Landslide. Because Landslide used to do 157% damage. Now, it has a huge nerf. So the thing I was recommending you to do now does 105. So it lost a huge portion of its damage. It is not clear to me what to do anymore. I think Shred, Pulverize, and Tornado stayed the same. And Lightning Storm, I think, also got nerfed. Excuse me. So I think the answer for Druid is play whichever one you get a legendary power for, I guess, and maybe take some companions. I mean, that's my guess. I'll make a video tomorrow. I'll think about it some more tonight. I'll make a video tomorrow. That's what I saw from Druids. On Necro, I told you to go to the full bone build and forget summoning and forget corpse exploding, because Ashava's going to kill your summons, and corpse explode. Blizzard said they were going to nerf it. Well, that's exactly what happened. They did nerf it. So before I was telling you to go the full bone build, these bone splinters got nerfed into the ground. But we weren't really taking the bone splinters necessarily for its damage. We were mostly taking it for the 8 crit, and I still think it will be very good against Ashava. So if we go here and we go the full bone spear, you'll see that 31 changed to 11. Man, they must have hated this skill. They must have thought this was way too good. Potentially, you still go Bone Splinters. I think you still go Bone Spear, and it's the same, 119 and 119. I think it even got buffed. It used to split and do 10% damage each, and now it splits, it does 25% damage each, and this is what we wanted to do damage with anyway. So I think Necros are still good with the full bone build that we showed, but man, the generator got nerfed to crap. Do we take one of the other generators now? Maybe. Should still work for Ashava, though. It's definitely changing. And Corpse Explosion got a pretty huge nerf, as they said they were going to do. And then we go to Rogue. Now, Rogue got... So we were saying go Puncture, and then we were saying go Twisting Blades. So Twisting Blades, the thing that got nerfed was this, was their cooldown reduction. And they said they were going to nerf the imbuements, and I thought they said they were going to nerf the cooldowns of it, and maybe they still are, but I didn't see any data mined changes there. So if you go here, and you go rogue, and you pick up puncture, if we look at twisting blades, it should be exactly the same. Hits for 100.8, it hits for 101, okay? It's the same thing. But this cooldown stuff is now 0.25 up to 3 seconds, and now it's 1 up to 3 seconds. So it's just how, actually, I guess if you just play really well and hit a ton of enemies, it won't be that much of a nerf. The good news is, there actually is some good news here. When we go down, we wanted to take poison imbuement, and poison imbuement used to go 9 seconds for 98% damage over 5. And now if we go down here, fill in some skills here, now we have 9 seconds, 140 damage over 5. So actually, poison imbuements seem to have gotten better. So rogues will probably do just fine with their twisting blades and puncture stuff. That seems to be very strong. So rogue probably so far, I mean, I need to look deeper into it, maybe the least impacted class so far, which is probably good news. And then finally, sorcerer. All right, I don't even know if I should show you guys this. This one's gonna hurt. All right, so we have chain lightning. They said they were going to nerf chain lightning, and specifically they were going to nerf the single target damage of chain lightning. It's like everybody's favorite build. So we go sorcerer. We go chain lightning, and it used to do 59%, and now it does 50%. That might be a bigger nerf than you might think. It was 59 divided by 50.4. Okay, we lost 17 minus 1. We lost 17 damage there. 17. See, now it's bleeding over to sorcerers. But take a closer look. It used to chain 6 times. Now it changes. Now it chains 5. And we're not done yet. It used to do 10% each. 10%, or it used to do, 25% damage every time it bounced off of you, and now it does 10. So 17% less damage, 1 less chain, and the really, really good rune got nerfed from 25% per chain to 10. You don't need a degree in mathematics to know that that is a huge nerf. Hydra. Yeah, do you guys have a box of Kleenex? Here we go, Hydra. So we come down here. Here we are. Where's Hydra at? Here. Used to be active for 12 seconds for 42% damage. 12 and 42. Now, it's alive for 10, and it does 16.8. 42 to 16.8. We used to do 42 damage. Now we do 16.8. And it's alive for less time. Ooh. So, then the other thing about it was the super overpowered build here was the Ice Blades, because the Ice Blades were reducing all the cooldowns. They didn't really say anything, but people were theorizing that it would be nerfed. Well, what people would do here is they would go Ice Blades. And if you read this, Ice Blade's cooldown is reduced by 1 second every time it hits a vulnerable enemy. You can make auto vulnerability from Frost Nova. And then if you look over here, 50% of the cooldown reduction is applied to all your other skills. So you can just reset your skills infinitely, right? Well, Blizzard has had enough of that. 1 second and then 50%. Now it's half of a second, and now it's 20%. Will it still work? I mean, maybe. But they nerfed it, and people will test it, and if it works still, then they'll nerf it again. So, what's the play now? One thing I should check. People are theorizing. I actually haven't looked at this, so let's look at this one on the fly. people are theorizing that Firewall is going to be godly. So probably shouldn't put that on this video. I probably just doomed you all. But it did 224. I'm interested. Did they nerf that? I haven't looked yet. This is my first time saying it. 224? Ooh, 224. All right, we might be in there. We might have to edit this part out of the video. But it looks like maybe we'll be doing a Firewall Sorcerer. Maybe that will survive. So, to summarize this all in paint, Upheaval was what I recommended before. It's going down a bit, especially on that rune. Maybe we play Hoda. Upheaval will still work, though. And remember, Whirlwind got a huge buff. Is it good enough this early game to work? Probably not. Remember, all our shouts got nerfed. And if they nerf the legendary powers, which help our shouts generate resources, we're going to be in even bigger trouble. But maybe try Hoda now. And I'll have a video tomorrow. You don't have to worry about this. Landslide got nerfed. Now what's the best? I mean, the companions are too far down in the tree to make a whole build off of companions. So, I don't know, whatever you want or whatever you find a legendary power for. Necro, you go the Bone build. I think the Generator got nerfed, but Bone Spear is going to do well. So maybe go the same. Rogue might have got a little bit of nerf with its cooldowns, but the Poison Imbue is better. So Rogues will be just fine. Chain Lightning Hydra got really nerfed, so what do you play early game as a Sorcerer? It's maybe even with that huge nerf, maybe it's not impossible. Chain Lightning Hydra is still the best thing, but it's definitely time to try something else. Try Fire, try Lightning. I'll look at it tonight. I'll recommend something, but Blizzard is achieving their goal of trying to make everything about even, and when everything is even, it's hard for me to make a video and say, play this, you'll dominate. It looks like the Twisting Blades Rogue, it was already destroying last time, may still be just completely destroying. So, didn't see the imbuement nerfs. It looks like Poison Imbue potentially even got better. So, interesting. Anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Serious question. I know we're seeing nerfs. Nerfs make the internet angry. I get it. But I have a serious question for you. Do you think Blizzard's doing the right thing? Are they making the cooldowns not auto-refresh all the time like in Diablo 3? Are they nerfing the skills that everybody's taking that seem to just be better than the other skills? And remember, it's 0.80 to 0.90. What was the number? It's up here, 0.9.0. I'm guessing the launch is going to be 1.0. What else will they do? I don't know. Do you think they're doing the right thing or not? That's the interesting question that I'd like to pose to you. Tomorrow I'll make a video updating my guides. It'll be rehashing these things, and let's see what I can come up with. I'll see you on Friday for the server slam. I'm leveling every class to max, and I'm going to crush a Shava on all 5 classes, no matter what. I would love to have you there on the live stream. See you then.